or motivate to start this game.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Yeah, I think their priority with who they've been going on has just been a little off on Yangon, right? You could tell I was tossing and turning it up in my head a little bit when you asked me, what's the play to be able to make the best out of this lane where you're at a disadvantage against the Lina? I was like, well, maybe you can gank the Kunkka, but no, not really. Oh, maybe you can gank the Bane, she's pretty survivable and it's not really worth it. Oh, maybe you can gank the Crop, that's not really worth it either, right? So the fact that they haven't really gone for the Lina lane, I mean, it means that Gacha Boy, of course, you have a stronger lane in general, and now he's 7-1 so far. So he's already had a fantastic start and a great way to be able to transition this good start to the game into sieging towers.
Yeah, and it feels like for Yangon, I mean, you've got a position 5 line who's still only level 4. So maybe that could have been a different fight if you have the Finger of Death just to burst the hero down. Like, I think you really have to give some emphasis now on getting Zorain to level 6. And not even only just that, like, how do you make plays pre-blink online? You're going to be really relying on the Night Stalker, but he's building to a Spirit Vessel. So yes, it's great versus Centaur. Yes, it's great versus the Conquer. But
I mean, you say it's great versus the Conquer, but you just buy BKB and it's worthless.
100%. He's so farmed that it's like, is it that good now? Feels like you have to get a really early Spirit Vessel timing, and Conquer has to have a bad game. Otherwise, you go really early BKB, and like you said, it's useless.
And it's very hard to kill him in that sort of scenario, right? Like, you got to be perfect with your chain lockdown, and we talked about one of the weaknesses for Yangon. They don't have great lockdown. So you can see right now that 23 Savage, in terms of what he's got queued up, he's going for the Silver Edge first, just for that little bit of extra damage. He wants to be constantly a pressure on the map. As long as he's invisible, you're constantly playing in fear. But after that, the BKB is queued up. I feel like maybe after the Shadow Blade, he'll look to change that up into going into the BKB instead of the full Silver Edge if this Spirit Vessel is completed, and you should see it very shortly. So I think that might be the go for him, just to make sure that he's not dying quicker than he should in a lot of these fights.
What do we feel like the route back into this game is, though, for Yangon? Are they just looking to try and farm as much as possible and wait till that second night time and maybe make a play off the back of that?
I mean, they can play a play right now, right? They've got the Spirit Vessel now on the Night Stalker, provided he gets the last hit. There we go. Got it coming out to him now. I think you can make a play now just with a Dark Ascension, because it's going to turn into night after the fact anyway. So that's going to be all well and good, but you can't go on the center. It feels like, to me, it has to be Lina that you're going on in a lot of these engagements, and she's barely farmed herself. She's got the boost of travel, she's got a regen bottle building into the BKB for herself, and she's pretty damn close to finishing it. Feels out a little bit here that they're a little bit grouped up, not too often that you see a Lion paired together with a Night Stalker farming in front of their tier 2 tower. So it makes it a little bit obvious, even though they're drawing on the map where they want to be, they're kind of restricted because they've just got this big body of the Centaur in their way.
Well, let's see if they can blow him up. Boo is going to give the opportunity for the Nightmare Trick, and now Stampede used to reposition exactly what we were speaking about to enter the Dark Ascension. So now you've got no Spirit Vessel charges as well, and we've seen how difficult it is for them to find these kills. So now you probably have to blow up a support with Finger of Death, get that charge for the Night Stalker, and then maybe look to a core afterwards.
I think you just wait. You just wait out the Dark Ascension. You don't really care about not having the Stampede, but now you've got the Blink Dagger as well on Masaros, so this is definitely a big timing coming through from Motivate, and they realize that they smoke up just as the Dark Ascension bears out. They're going to go for a little bit of a wraparound here, and it's going to be Zorain that ends up popping it, so nicely done by him. It's going to save a lot of his cores, but it still sets up Motivate.Trust to be able to take control over the map even more so than they've already done.
And when do Dai feel like they're in a position where they can take Roshan? Because they've got a 9,000 net worth lead, so like, what are they waiting for in regards to be able to put that one on the map?
I think you're always a little bit worried just around the nighttime sort of period. Maybe they're just waiting for that classic DD outside the Roche pit to be able to make it happen.
Okay, so he's just able to find the Lincolns. Of course, they do have a decent amount of AoE stuns, however. They're going to be cautious. They don't use all of them, though, so the Morphling can TP out. It's going to go for it now, but Masaros, he's going to be able to find him through the tree line, so now the Morphling stuck with no opportunity to be able to TP out, so he's going to have to rely on the Eye to get back involved, but like you said, they've already played off the relocate. Getting some assistance. Waveform out. What's happening down bottom, though? Oh, big sonic wave. Zoran in trouble. Turns with the finger of death, but it's not going to matter as Gotcha Boy. He's still got the BKB in the arsenal, and the rest of Yangon. I mean, you're playing off the Night Stalker to be able to TP in, but you know there's no assistance from the Morphling at this stage in the game. So Gotcha Boy stands his ground and rips apart a second.
Dangerous. He's a little low here on Savage. They pop the dust. Oh, actually,
yeah,
low.
Okay.
Radiant's middle
I was gonna say, I don't know if you get this kill, but it's a bit of awkward timing there with the armlet toggle, and very nicely done.
He's a lot more killable if you've got that level 2 Storm ultimate, just to be able to zip in from long range, do a lot of damage at the end point there. And as well, he doesn't have the boat available, or he didn't have the mana for the boat, rather. So that's a big part of his survivability as well.
Mid lane. They're trying to start the fight on the Night Stalker, though, so it's going to put Q in a bit of a compromised position as Young PH reveals the Orchid, so they turn it back around. Now they're eyeing up Masaros as well. Another kill getting bled from Motivate, and I mean, Night Stalker's not done just yet. They're going to turn their attention to Boom Booey. He's got Gotcha Boy being a bit of a deterrent for the Night Stalker at the moment. Looks like with the safety of the tier 2.
2 charges left on the Spirit Vessel. He's just being a flying ward right now for the rest of the team. Savage, careful.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
That's certainly the comeback that they needed. Just being able to catch out one of these squishier heroes in Q at the very start of that engagement. Just his first death.
They're still stalking Savage.
I don't think you can. Not without Dark Ascension and not without the mana on Young PH.
Imagine that, though. You kill Savage twice in a row, couple other kills, get the tier 1 tower. All of a sudden, Yangon. I mean, yeah, it still would have been probably 6,000 deficit, but you start to build some momentum.
Both quite nice for a lot of that burst potential that they're needing. Zip in, buffs up the Finger of Death as well for the follow-up. Very nice.
Radiant are
Is
scanning.
that smoke? They've missed the double damage on the bottom side. Hopefully for MG.Trust's sake, that's not going to be what costs them.
They will run into Zoran. Should reveal the ward on the high ground. And they instantly ping it up. And now, where else are they eyeing up? Top lane, Boom Booey. He's found the setup on the Storm. He's going to be able to get rid of the Nightmare. And it looks like they'll just have to result in getting a much easier kill on the Ball of Light there. Again, when you're starting to eye up Roshan, maybe if they saw the DD down bottom, they'd feel a little bit easier to do so. But, I mean, Gotcha Boy level 16, Massa can tank, so they're just going to move on in.
Why not, right? Like, you've got such a strong lineup right now. I think the big thing that they were waiting for was that little bit of extra farm on the Lina. You know, she's got the Shadow Blade, she's got the BKB now, feeling very confident of just being able to be this turret, basically, just constantly sieging in a lot of these fights, and they're just using so much of their resources to try and take out the Bane and take out the Kunkka that Lina's allowed to do whatever the hell she wants. Like, this is an ideal game for a mid player. 0 assists, that's exactly what you want.
10, 1, and 0. Let's go, Gotcha Boy. Just KS everything. Good old
No one
Lina.
ended up taking that DD, by the way. It just disappeared. Changed it into an arcane rune.
Something that Gotcha Boy is able to work around with, though. Whenever a DD's on the map, either side is just homing missile towards that area. They're like, holy, this can just change the status quo of a fight. What does KSH got at the moment? Alright, Yasha after the Lincolns. He's sticking around there.
Damage.
Yeah.
Oh, damage. That's the big downside that he's got right now. Like, where is the damage going to come from? It basically needs to be entirely Young PH that's doing it. A little bit careful here. Multiple invis. I've got a Magnum Shard queued up yet for Q. Doesn't quite. Looking to go into the Yule Scepter, maybe just trying to survive if the Night Stalker gets on top of him.
What do you think about the Manta on the Morphling, actually? Like, what is this going to do to help keep him alive? Because there's not the greatest things he can really purge off. Maybe just the...
They've got a Vessel on the quad.
Okay, yep. I was just thinking, because maybe if you play off the back of E-Blade, you just jump someone, finger death, shotgun, your Storm as well, look to blow up a hero. But yeah, like you said, I mean, if the... I didn't really see the Spirit Vessel on queue, didn't click on that, so... At least that's a big fact to be able to get rid of here. So he's going to be closing in on this item relatively shortly, but it definitely feels like... I mean, the side of Yangon going to continue to play off the back of kind of just a mistake. I mean... What, Lion's closing in on Blink, so maybe when Zorain completes this, you look to get a pick off across the map. That is definitely the one thing that I lineups always thrive on, is just this, +2 factor, sometimes +1 to the side lanes, and then you're really just looking to split up the map and make it difficult for Motivate to ball up and take a team fight.
I mean, IO Storm Spirit is tale as old as time, basically, like constantly being picked together just because of what it enables in terms of your pick-off potential. I like the fact that you've got Night Stalker sitting up here, and they know that Gacha Boy is coming, so I wonder if this might be a relocate play.
See. He's got the Aegis, but they're more than happy to get rid of the first life. There's the relocate. Let's see if they can do it a second time as well. They've got the ward in the lane too, so they're going to see the rest of Motivate coming on over. Stampede to reposition, but he didn't pop the BKB. He's going to do so now afterwards, and Gacha Boy playing with about half health of the relocate. They brought them out of the area, but unfortunately the Morphling, they didn't bring him. KSH still gonna go down. A 1-for-1 when it's all said and done with, but oh, you didn't bring out the Morphling.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate, that's for sure. But yeah, probably wasn't expecting rather that he would just be left there on his lonesome. So it's a bit of a rough spot. You don't want your Morphling dying for free like that consistently. At least now he's finished up the Manta style, which is nice. Just a little bit of that ghost push as well, but you've got great ways to deal with it, right? The Conqueror in particular, he's even gone the boots of travel on 23 Savage, so he's constantly alongside Fearless, pushing out these lanes with relative ease.
And they've got so many ways to push the side lanes. Like, Centaur's really strong. I guess he doesn't really want to show on the lane, though, because he's kind of their initiator. But, Conquer boots of travel, like you said. Gacha Boy boots. And this is the nice thing about having a Queen of Pain support with, he's even only got 2 points in Blink, so he's not as mobile just yet. But you can definitely clear off these lanes and still connect to the team.
Sure. That's really why I value the Aghanim Shard on the Quap as well. You don't need to show yourself in lane for quite as much, right? You just walk to the lane, you scream of pain, and then you just blink out. And the damage that the Sonic Boom does as a result of the Ag Shard is enough to clear out a full creep wave.
Yeah, and that's a big thing that doesn't really get brought up often, just how long you are actually showing on a lane. If it's maybe like half a second longer, then... it gives the team that the potential extra yards to gap close, or maybe extra time for them just to catch a glimpse of you across the map. I think it's something really important that I first came to my awareness, and when actually when we had the opportunity to cast a couple of the OEDLs a long time ago when Splicker was playing the Tusk position 3, and you were speaking about the shard that you get on Tusk like at the later levels just to enable you to one-hit creep waves with shard and snowball. And he was just saying it's a big factor, like you need to be able to blow the creep wave up fast and then get out and then do something else on the map.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what Lina and Kunkka have itemized for, right? Like Kunkka is incredibly tanky on his own, so it doesn't matter quite as much, but Boots of Travel, Shadowblade, X Marks, like very, very easy to consistently keep a lot of these lanes pushed in. Lion, not the greatest at taking waves. Io, terrible at it. Honestly, even Night Stalker, pretty bad. So it means that Yangon are always playing on the back foot, and that's why they've built up this 11k net worth lead on Motivate. Yeah,
and it definitely feels like there are supports at the moment that are strong, that struggle with dealing with waves and being able to push that out. But it definitely feels like it's a big advantage in your toolkit if you can clear waves. Like, it's just maybe some farm that you're able to get across the map, because often the jungle is designated to your cause. And, I mean, we see, look at the difference in net worth with the Queen of Pain compared to the other supports. Like you said, Io and Lion, they don't have that capability. Whereas Quap, I mean, you've skyrocketed up. You're 3,000 advantage ahead of both the 4 and 5.
I was lucky it was still daytime there on Young PH. He stayed next to the wave just as he zipped in. He would have got a glimpse of Boomboy just sitting there with his Fiend's Grip ready. He's actually got a Gem of True Sight actually on this Bane, which is quite early, but when you've got this much control, just have a look at Yangon Galacticos' map. It's pretty damn dark. They're forced to go for these these wards around the enemy side of the map to enable KSH to continue to farm. So I like how they've adapted to it, but it's certainly not the way that they want to be playing.
I'm a big fan of gems. I will always bring up if I see an early gem that I think this is one of the most undervalued item in Dota, and
I think it's great if you're winning already, but it's so much harder to play around it if you're on the back foot.
like this is the ideal game for it when you're looking to choke a team out and you know you have an advantage, you know you're really difficult to kill, the enemy team need to play off splitting the map and going for pickoffs, so you just want to give them no ward potential to set up on these side lanes to get these kills. Is young PH? Massa. It's going to be off the mark there. It's kind of one of the issues with jumping the Storm Spirit. Can always be a little bit awkward with that hoof stump timer. So step it on cooldown.
I'll be honest, I was kind of expecting them to go a lot more aggressive on this top side of the map. Like, you had the Kunkka that had his X-Mark TP up to the top side previously, so you knew he didn't have a TP available. And now you've got like a double damage Lina who's just been wailing away onto your tower. They'll still end up taking it, but probably about 30 seconds later than they should have, which might mean that they're going to be in a bit of a rough spot to be able to defend.
Savage and Mastros. Oh, never mind. Bit of misexecution with the abilities, and now Zoran and KSH are actually going to look to blow up the Bane instead. So a quick and easy kill. They'll trade across the map. At least Savage is going to find the gem, though, so they're not giving away a bit of a net worth swing over to Yangon. So all in all, it will be both sides taking a T2 tower.
Yeah, I mean, Motivate already had one, so it's kind of not as big of a deal for them, but it's the mid tower, obviously. Very important. No outer towers remaining. Roshan potentially coming up in 30 seconds is also a big deal. But yeah, it's just those small things, right? Like, not being able to have that +1, because at the time there were 3 heroes on Yangon on the top side, and Skille was connected together with the Morphling who was farming inside, the Storm who was farming in the triangle. Speaking of Skille, he's just going to feed his life away. But yeah, anytime that you've got the chance to take a 5v4 fight, guaranteed, I think Yangon need to try and do it and force Motivate to make a... try and force them to have an error in communication where they don't say, I don't have TP or something like that.
Let's don't do it again, Night Stalker. Oh, Booey, you're not meant to creep. Oh no. I see some pings coming out. I didn't do that, guys. I swear. It was my brother was playing for me.
Congratulations, you beat my little brother. It wasn't me.
Oh. This just feels like a slow, methodical game from Motivate. I mean, Morphling's getting farmed though. Like, is he ever going to be at a stage though where we have to be worried about KSH?
Probably not, to be honest. I feel like it's much more on the Storm Spirit.
I'm going to be able to cancel the TP. Another quick kill. There was a smoke, I believe, so...
Yeah.
Alright, so you feel like this game is going to be more off the back of Storm Spirit and in Young PH to make the plays?
Yeah, and to be fair, Night Stalker hasn't really done much of anything either. You know, he's been involved in, 4 kills so far? Hasn't fed too much of his lives away, but it is always a concern when it's nearly 30 minutes and you don't have a BKB. I feel like the Blink Dagger isn't quite as much of a necessity this game, just when your main target's that Bane.
We'll see how they're able to use the Dark Ascension, and then with that information here from Yangon, how they can play according to find the Bane. They're going to look to smoke up once again. Pain will be respawning shortly and Motivate. They're making sure they all group up as 4. There we go. There's the vision, instantly smoked. Stalker's going to be able to pop this though. Zoring jumping in the middle, but they haven't run into Boom Boy just yet. Jumping anyone but the Bane, and we see how difficult it is to be able to follow up. And now Motivate, they're pushing on for more. Actually, they won't catch any of the stragglers out, but all the lanes in a really solid position for Dire, so they're in a position now where you can sit around Roshan and wait for this to respawn.
There's good positioning by Boom Boy, right?
Yep.
Always wanting to be in the safest possible spot in every single team fight.
Oh, that is prime voice line usage. It's cool as well, the recognition they put, like, they are holding smokes for this Night Stalker jump, just to enable Boom Boy. Like, exactly like you said, here's the person they look to jump, so let's try and protect the Bane as much as possible, and take away one of the big advantages that Radiant have in this Dark Ascension.
Oh, he's been in good position again because he's going to scout out that Roche, instantly looking to take it. Who do we give this to? You reckon this is the tidal wave that they're looking to pick up here on Savage?
Um,
Either that or Quap.
yeah, you could consider Quap. I mean, Lena's is crap. Bane's is crap.
Roshan has fallen to the
Who'd they give it to? Did they give it to Savage?
Dire's
Or-
bottom tower is under attack.
yeah,
Q got it.
Yeah, okay.
I would have been pretty tilted if Q didn't get it, to be honest. 'Cause it's such a great shard.
And I mean, like you were saying before, like his farm's now going to further increase as well. So if this goes to a little bit later of a game, then you're going to have a
I don't feel like this one's going to last that much longer.
100% in
Yeah,
agreement. 100% in agreement. But you take into consideration, then he can become more into a core. I mean, you got to do something. Your objectives are getting obliterated from this double damage. And I mean, Centaur, that's the target you want to bring down. Jump in the eye. We've spoken a lot about Yangon looking to deal with the Bane, but for Motivate, it's all eyes on blowing up skill lane. They do that.
Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
And this is kind of what I was talking about. Whenever I refer to like the Quap versus the Lina, this is what I'm talking about. This is what you're able to do. Yes, it's influenced by the fact that he's got a double damage, but a Quap can't do this. A Quap can't siege and deal this much consistent damage in a team fight.
Dude,
Quap can't
what?
do that.
What was... Alright. I mean, you're gonna Lotus Ult the Lino, who's still got BKB in ages, and well, Gacha Boy feels like he needs to pop it on the first life. Let's see how confident he feels now to stick around. 2 heroes buying back. Night Stalker's gonna try and find the angle to jump it, but we saw what happened previously. Honestly, they might just turn around and rip him apart as well. I'm gonna use the boat, but now with the Stampede, they'll push them further back, eyeing up the Night Stalker. A die back for the position. 3. Young PH is in the middle along with the Morphling, so they'll get rid of the first life. But still Motivate all their heroes. They're so goddamn tanky. Zorine into safety though. They're going to be able to at least cancel off the Fiend, skip it off to the side. Mastros again runs into Young PH. The hoof stomp to control, making sure there's no escape. Lena's still not even dead just yet. KSH is going to have to play off the back of the Queen of Cain replicate to go through the ethereal form. But regardless, 4 down and still up the high ground they go.
Radiant's middle barracks
What else can do his best? It's morphing into the Queen of Pain. Not sure how effective that's going to be. It's just trying to clear out these waves as quickly as possible, but that backdoor protection is going to be just fine. We've also got that wave coming in on the top side of the map, so even doing his absolute best to try and push this, it's a ballsy move. Q will go down. He's got the Yules.
I mean, he's doing exactly what he has to do at this stage. You blow up the Bane, get rid of the supports, maybe make sure they don't have as much of a superiority in numbers, and then you can stall it out. But it is quite the economic damage. 2 full sets of barracks, and I mean, this T3 down bottom's pretty much about to go down as well.
I hate the fact that a Conker just did 700 damage to a Lion, just because, you know.
Oh, you don't like this hero right now? Or are you a Conker hater? What's going on?
Yes. Him and Wraith King are so stupid. You shouldn't be able to, like, dealing one-hit supports about 20 minutes into the game.
I tell you what, if you guys are Conker spammers out there, you better get your games in, because this hero is going to be nerfed into the grave. Like, we've seen him for
Weaver
quite...
too.
Yeah, Weaver. There's a lot. We were speaking about it yesterday. We're like, what heroes are really at the top of the list that are just not going to be in Dota for the next couple of months? And yeah, get your games in. Start building up the relics, because you're not going to see them. You're not going to see Zorain as well. Gacha Boy just blows up the line once again. I mean... We've seen some rough positioning this game from the support, and now they're going to eye up the Night Stalker as well on the high ground. But they've got to keep in mind, though, Massos... Woo! I mean, that's a hoof stomp to end all games here. On to 3. Boom Booey finds a control as well and Motivate. Their first game with Savage looking really, really good.
Really, really solid. And for those that didn't know, this might have a little bit more meaning for MG.Trust. Obviously, they've had a bit of a rough time in recent months with
Guys, game 2 is coming up, yeah? I don't know where it's... Mm.
Absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Now my enemies pay. Uproot and after them.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Thanks. Come.
Dire's courier has been killed. Dire's courier has been killed. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
With me. You are dead.
Radiant's
Dead,
middle
Ryan.
tower is under attack.
You should run.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's courier has been killed. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is fallen.
Now that was a fail bow.
Autumn comes too soon. Fox.
A classic mistake.
I'll be right back. Wait, what? Pull roots and run.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Gold is a great conductor.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Uproot and after them. Unseen entities.
Dire are scanning.
Who fells me?
Shut your eyes and dream of me. The wages of fear.
Radiant are scanning. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Another. Warriors of the wood.
Guys, we're still waiting. We're going to shout out some silent viewers, yeah? Shout out to Torres Alvin. Shout out to Kiko Pitjao. Shout out to Oksu Taiza. Shout out to Fishan Orupa Piras. Shout out to Ong Nai Chun.
The sacred grove awaits.
Shout out to Jun Corban. Shout out to Jude Miran.
You are dead. Dead.
Ay, there's a lot of silent viewers.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Pull roots and run. You are dead. Dead. Uproot you.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire are scanning.
Shout out to GC Arnaiz. Shout out to Rigel Quezon.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Now my enemies pay.
Shout out to C2 Ong. Shout out to Divina Gracia Yos. Ram Martin.
Dire
been spooked.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I die.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Rises. I merely release the wraith within. Idea was that.
Shout out to Michelangelo, Cyrus Go, Ray Lord Jake,
Come to me.
Ye Kiao Tet, Tuan An Nguyen,
Dire's middle tower is under
Ferdos
attack.
Suradi. Shout out to Gan Tolga and our friend from Nepal. Sorry, cannot read his name.
With me.
Radiant are
Bounty.
scanning.
Sucked out with the tide.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Gold.
Dire are scanning.
Turns to gray.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's courier has been killed.
The wages of fear.
Warriors of the wood.
Must be dreaming.
Guys, ini announcement for T1. Kung confirm na ba si Ana doon o
Dire's top
Makimartes
tower
muna
is under
tayo.
attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
You are dead. Dead.
This is gonna sting.
wala pa rin announcement yung T1 eh. Masuspend sila.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Fall back to whatever hole you spawned from.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's top tower is under attack.
All in service to balance.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Bounty!
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I bring sad tidings. You're dead. Prescribed to this.
Dire's courier has been killed. Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Thrice the torment.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's courier has been
Your mistress is next.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Why, thank you. Why, thank you.
An exceptional find.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Bounty.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Blessings upon a loyal warrior. Denied.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Willingly.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
A thousand of your kind have fallen before me.
Why, thank you.
Radiant are scanning.
Spirit is loosed.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
one person in particular. It's as long as kind of Gacha Boy and MG.Trust has a relatively good time.
Well, for me, the big timing comes around. It looks like MG.Trust is going into an armlet, but it wouldn't surprise me at all to see just a second item Blink Dagger, right? Because you're playing with an Ogre and a Mirana, two heroes that are great at being able to rotate. They aren't relied on their cooldowns whatsoever. So every single time that duel is up, I'm expecting MG.Trust to be making a play. Lots of early smokes coming out from them to try and stack up that damage onto MG.Trust.
From the build I've been seeing so far from Legion in Eastern Europe, which I've seen a lot more games than I would have expected, considering we don't really get the hero much in Southeast Asia, but they're just rushing Blade Mail, like no boots, just go straight into the Blade Mail. I don't even think Soul Ring as well. It seems like it's a build that you'd go a while ago, like with Axes and Legions, just to offer like for this quick burst throughout the duel, but you know, I think the Blade Mail outlook has changed a lot since we saw Spectre go for it for a lot more of his farming build, and I think this is a big thing for Legion. Like, you can't really use overwhelming odds to farm. It's just not, you don't have the greatest mana pool. It's not going to one-hit waves. So, Blade Mail, it works nicely with being able to keep up your farm. If you don't have a hero to tank Ancients, then it also now allows you to open up the map a little bit more and have that available. So, we'll see if MG.Trust, continues with the armlet or not. But I have been a big fan of Blade Mail over in Europe.
I think the Blade Mail is okay. It's just like you've got Fearless that's able to take a lot of these Ancients as well as the Medusa, so you're not really that concerned about that. And I think the big thing for mine is they're lacking that instant lockdown on someone, right? I've mentioned that you've got the Moonlight Shadow to play around, but you want to be making plays more rapidly than the 140-second cooldown that Moonlight Shadow has at level 1. And that's probably what we're going to see from a Mirana for quite some time, unless they absolutely dominate this start to the game. So it's I think he needs a Blink Dagger this game. I understand
100%,
the thinking behind the Blade Mail, but like even just an Ember Spirit, right? Sleight of Fist, you're not going to take the damage from it because you're inside the slight animation. Tide Hunter, not a ton of AoE damage either. So I think Blink Dagger is definitely the go after the armlet here. But we might be in a little bit of trouble on bot side though.
There we go. So they're getting brought down. A lot of the minus armor. I mean, you see Skill A with the little Shredder early and the Blightstone as well. And even though Ogre's one of the few heroes that has got ridiculous amount of armor to start the game, it looks like that's enough for the side of Yangon to pick up our first blood.
How much is that? Just doing some quick maths. 4.5 plus 2.
Is Deuce going to go down as well? Toy?
I mean, it's -9 armor, basically, very early into the game. So even an Ogre gets brought into the negatives.
Do you feel like this is
a little low as well?
Yeah, what's going on? One more Gacha Boy? No, it doesn't have the Tidebringer back up. So it looks like we saw last time, just the opposites now on sides, but Gacha Boy, when he was playing the Lina, he was up against the Storm Suit. He was struggling a little bit. It was kind of young PH that was chasing him across the map and trying to get that last little bit of right-click damage. Zorine might go...
That was clever.
From the
he
Death Prophet,
walked underneath the tower, just to make sure if there was any kind of vision there. I'm going to steal that, and I'm going to use that in my pubs.
It's something I've liked to see. Ooh, young PH, one more right click. Has Gacha Boy got the movement speed advantage? He does, so he's going to continue chasing. Gets the Tidebringer, gets the kill. I mean, we've come to love the Gacha Boy Conquer. Definitely, there's a lot of Southeast Asian players that can play it at an incredible extent on the position too, and Gacha Boy's one of them.
What level is he now? 26. Come on. Those are rookie numbers, Gacha Boy. We've been watching you for a while, and you've been 25, 26 for a long time.
I mean, how many games did it take to level it up from that? I guess it depends on doing challenges and all, but to go from 25 to 26, I don't know. Do you know how many it would take?
Well, I'm a Grandmaster Winter Wyvern, and I have 1,250 games.
Far out.
Just for reference.
Why? What about winter? It's fascinating. Like every person has their individual look and fan of other heroes. You got your freaking filthy techie spammers. You got your Visage spammers, your Arc Wardens. But then you got some people that just love Crystal Maiden. You got some people that just love an axe or something like that. Well. Yeah, what
I love
him
Crystal
tick?
Maiden too. She's just terrible, right?
Yeah, she's atrocious.
The only one I've been able to see make it work is Whitemon.
Honestly, it's fun to see when a Crystal Maiden wins and chat's just like, nerf the movement speed. It's like, come on, really? Just leave the poor Crystal Maiden alone. When was the last time she was legitimately viable? I don't know.
Too long. She just feels so useless once you get BKBs.
Is that what Ozfrog does?
Like, what do you do? What do you do at that stage?
Crystal Maiden?
Yeah, Weaver too strong, nerf Crystal Maiden.
Who cares what Toy?
Toy's a little bit of trouble.
Yeah. Look at the mana coming back though, thanks to the snake, and well, now all of a sudden the damage being heavily mitigated, and now the Tide Hunter's going to be in trouble, so they'll tick him down. Boom Booey, along with the help of the Medusa, and now once you pick up an extra level in this snake, we're going to see how difficult it is to blow her up.
I actually really don't like the fact that he went 2 points into the Gush. I think 1 is plenty, and I think you need a point in Kraken Shell against an Ogre. Ignite is such a strong ability, and you can't let him just have it ticking out constantly onto you. Yeah. It's just a big mistake in my eyes.
Like, we always see the value point in Gush. The damage goes up by 50. It's really not a lot. 1 more armor is not going to do much as well. As Boom Booey, he's also going to make it away. It's a bit intriguing.
You know what made him live?
Raindrops.
The raindrops. You've got your gem, I've got my raindrops. It's my favorite item so far.
If Conker comes for the runes, of course it's a haste. Well, a bit of issues now if you deny out the haste. You don't have a way to try and retreat. He might get the kill though. At least he's going to get some solo gold and experience before he dies, but it's another kill given over to Gacha Boy, however.
Your sails, but good.
Still, though, they've already opened up a nice little net worth lead. It's only showing as 1k, but it's on all the right heroes. Toy having a very nice start to the game, already more than 1,000 net worth ahead of this Tide Hunter. He's finally put a point into the Kraken Shell at level 5. I think it's a little bit too late. Probably wouldn't have died previously if he just had that single point there.
Zorain has... Oh, okay, well, never mind. I was going to say, he's doing a pretty good job at scouting out all the stacks, but looks like this time it is going to cost him his life, however. So... Oh, surely not. Alright, well, maybe Gacha Boy is going to feel like it's time to start taking up some of the stacks. He's close to phase. We'll see if he needs that extra damage, but of course he's got the Tidebringer already maxed out, so that's really all you need on the Conquer.
Mm-hmm. They do end up dewarding the Sentry as well. Not that it's going to do all that much at this stage. They've already got a huge stack, courtesy of Q.
Oh my god, every time. Because you got the opportunity to cast a ridiculous amount of Dota over in panel as Young PH.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some remnants to play with him with the arrow on cooldown. I don't think they get the kill on the Ember Spirit. He's still going to try and bring down Boom Boo at the same time. That's
under the tower.
Oh no. Just trying to make the individual plays and getting a bit too cute.
Thanks to you.
You got it. Go, sorry.
You go. You go.
I was going to say, you got the opportunity to cast a lot of Dota with Southeast Asia and Eastern Europe. And you get to see all the broken things, the Conkers, the Weaver, time and time again. Every time you see them just do the stupid things they do every single game, do you just laugh? Because that's all I do. Like, I just saw a Conker farm a stack with ease. I'm just like, oh yes, Tidebringer. Oh, West Frog, how stupid this is. I just have to laugh now. Like, I just have no other reaction.
I think it's gotten to that stage because we've been, like 7 months with this patch, that it's like...
Has it been that long?
It's been that long. Well, whatever, like, mid-August is when 7.30 came out.
Oh.
It gets to that stage where you, like... It's so much despair that you just laugh. Like, what can you do? Nothing's going to change. You just got to live with it. But only 2 more weeks, and then into the bin.
You're gonna imagine if one of those like Weaver doesn't get nerfed into the grave. Like somehow he's still viable. You would be fuming.
Lose my mind.
I feel like a lot of players would be as well. I mean, we see him motivated across the map. They get 2 kills. Quick and easy one down bottom. Toy, he's 3-0 in start, so even with the Savage not in. I gotta ask as well, do you remember who knows Toy? Is it Gacha Boy? Because I think he stood in... Massa? Okay. Because he stood in last Pro Series, if I remember correctly, or the one before that. But I couldn't remember whose mate it was, I suppose to say. I don't know his MMR either.
They're all mates.
Yeah. Toy
Trash. Just like 2k MMR. Terrible.
I'm looking, it's not showing on his... Dota page. Come on, Toy, you gotta make it easy for me. Why do some people's the...
It's just
metal
when you're
show?
in a pro game, you can't see them.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's having a really good side at the moment, though. Second in net worth. Dragonlance already completed. And I wonder if they're going to still put a little bit of priority on starting to make some stacks in the Medusa. We've already seen, Gacha Boy claim all the ones over by the Ancients. So we'll see if they continue to enable the Medusa eventually. Young PH? Oh, they get the timing with the X. Boom Boo is going to be able to show up as well to make sure the chain control is perfect. They even get lucky enough with the multicast. Not that they were really needing it, but... I mean, 3 deaths for the Ember. I was thinking that they were going to struggle to actually control him pre-blink from Masaros, but it's not the case.
This is into a Kunkka, right? Like, what does Kunkka care about any kind of that magic absorption that you've got from the Flame Guard? Sure, you can't take it off, but you can't also block any of the damage that you've got coming your way with a Tidebringer.
Dire's structures are fortified.
We're speaking about Masaros as well in reference to Toy and the MMR sort of thing. I mean, it's been a little bit, him and Fearless used to be neck and neck on the MMR front, but it's been tough for Massa as it has for others as well. And if Ponlo's tweet has anything to say about it, he's above rank 200, so Ponlo, he's pretty bad and should think and be more critical of yourself.
Wait, so Masaros is above 200?
It was like 240 last time.
Okay, hang on. You got to stop talking. They killed the Medusa. Like, you're supposed to tell me there's stuff going on down bottom. I feel like that's your job.
You're the cameraman, bro.
But I was watching Death Prophet die top. Like, you got to be watching... Oh, Gacha Boy. And what are they? Okay, so they use Ravage for it. They use Mortimer Kisses. So a couple of ultimates forced there to get the kill. First death for the Medusa. And it looks like they will lead this into a tower. Do Radiant think about defending bottom? And Masaros with Armlet, he's relatively close to Blink. So maybe they're like, let's not force a fight. Just allow him to get a really early Armlet Blink timing.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's definitely a scary position for Yangon to be at the moment. Do still see that KSH is getting a decent amount of farm across the map, and again he's going to be building into the Lincolns, but really doesn't give him a way to join in through these early fights and help out. So it's going to be Yangon playing off the back of their ultimates. That's the one nice thing about their lineup, as Masaros looking to find some more dual damage as well. As well, Ember can't really eat the arrow to keep the Death Prophet alive, but still young PH at least has some more bottle charges to work around with to be able to refill the resources. Keep in mind though, Ravage, Mortimer Kisses both on cooldown, so this is definitely an engagement that's going to favor Motivated. Now that they're taking the tier 1 tower, there's no defensive structure to be able to retreat to as they kill off the Snapfire. Now they can turn to aim down Tide as well. Gacha Boy unstoppable, 12 minutes 30 in.
Liking that positioning from Toy as well. I know he was basically chasing down the Snapfire, but his positioning when he used the Stone Gaze made sure the Tide Hunter was caught by the turning into stone as well. So just little things that he's doing quite well, making a nice showing for him. Of course, he's no 23 Savage, but he's still a very good player in his own right.
Look to Gacha Boy as well. Double Bracer Ogre Axe, but that's not going to be enough to keep him alive with the Morphling getting involved as well. So very nicely done. We saw the fight trailing towards Motivate's favor, but the second skirmish with Yangon respawning and getting back involved, they do catch out some of the stragglers. And it's another game where Zorane's really struggling. We saw the line.
I was just looking at that as well. I was like, oof, level 5, 13.5 minutes. I don't know about that. He's got his Exo now, though. I think it's probably a few too many points in the Crypt Swarm, if I'm being perfectly honest. Like, you're in position 5. That's not your job. And leave the farming to the farmers. You just got to try and live for as long as possible and be a nuisance.
Okay, H. They see him. Doesn't get the attribute shift fast enough. Quick and easy kill. I think the Lincolns just got delivered, man. It literally got delivered a couple of seconds after the Lincolns jump.
Yeah, hate to see it.
Yeah, hate to see it. What would the build be for Zoran? Is there any consideration of a value point at this stage in the silence, or
yes?
Okay. What,
I
so
love value pointed sides.
So do you go like 113 or 212?
I would go, yeah, 212.
Ravage Mortimer Kisses, and they just blow up the Medusa. She, I think, had the Menace Shield available, so not really helping out too much though. It's just the massive amount of damage coming out from thanks to the back of the ultimates, and And they will still run into the snap fight. Gacha Boy playing off the haste. It's going to be up in a couple of seconds. He'll use the torrent instead, but will not cancel.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I've actually done Masteros a little bit dirty. He's improved his MMR since then. He's 146 ranked. So, according to God King Ponlo, he is a very good player.
Dual arrow to fly. Needs a couple more procs at the moment of courage. He won't get it, but regardless, Masteros is having a really good game.
I wonder if he's flaming Q about that. He's like, bro, why'd you attack him? I needed those right clicks so I could counterattack.
You gotta hit the arrow at the last second instead of...
Absolutely.
Disappointing. Come on, Q. I feel like you're high enough level to think about that. You gotta take everything into consideration.
Q ranked 49, by the way. So he is a very highly skilled player.
Still on cooldown. Massa's waiting. Couple more seconds. Just keep Skill alive. Kind of soaking the goods. Oh, it's always a position too.
Where are the pings? I mean, Fearless, again, he doesn't have quite the same perfect game. Last time we checked, he was 7-1-0. He's 7-1-2 this time, so he'll be kicking himself. Oh, they found KSH.
It's gonna be
just
right.
gets the waveform.
And Zoran can't TP out because Q can't actually use the arrow now, but I mean, Mastros in a position and where he's able to fly over the tree line, and like you said, he's got that dual cast range now, so just makes it that much easier with how he's able to position himself to find the jump. And we've been kind of memeing a little bit this game, but I mean, Motivate in firm position, 17-6, a 6,000 net worth lead, getting so much farm across the map. And I mean, Gacha Boy's got BKB as well. Like, I think the one big advantage for Yangon is their overwhelming team fight. But now with Gacha Boy having the magic immunity, it's going to be really difficult to kill off the Conquer.
For sure, but I feel like Motivate, they're doing everything right, you know? It's at least the way that I view Dota. You know, he's constantly playing around this duel. Like, he makes the rotation bot, gets the duel, duels up in another 3 seconds, joins together with the Kunkka, Mirana, Ogre. He's going to go for another one, playing around their vision, forcing them to farm in such a small area that eventually someone's going to come out and be in a little bit of a difficulty. Get this D ward off. So, I mean, have a look at what Yangon's map looks like. It is dark. It's like nothing that he can play around there. They might luck out here, though. You just had the ult Masteros.
Lincoln's popped as well. It's got to be back up in a couple of seconds. He's got to use it now. All right, too late. And now they're going to see them away from the team. So Morphling's going to look to reconnect. Did they cancel the TP? They did. They're going to be able to get rid of the Lincolns.
That was really good.
He doesn't have too much health to play with now, especially with Mirana showing up with the arrow. And now, back by the outpost we go. Looks like Exism committed. They still have Ravage. They still have Mortimer Kisses as well. So Yangon, even though it is a 4-on-4, they're going to feel like they're in a position to continue pushing on for more. But Motivate recognizing the weakness, and they're going to back up.
That's one of those situations where, as a position 5, you're a masochist. You're like, haha, you killed me, but your carry died. You know, Boo Boo is totally cool with that death. He had the full magic wand charges, but he resigned himself to the fact that he was going down. Even obviously having such a great game that he can afford to go this Veil of Discord. It combos together with a lot of the damage that you've got so far on Motivate.Trust. Love it. Very cheap item for the amount of utility that you get from it, especially now that he's level 10 with the plus 16 Ignite DPS.
Yeah, you're a big fan of the Veil build on the Ogre, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of DPS.
It's way too much. You deal like 800 damage at level 10 to 2 targets, maybe more. You get lucky with the multicast.
That's spell damage as well, right? So you're amping pretty much all Conquer.
Yep.
So there's a lot of things you're amplifying this game for Motivate. When do we feel like... Because did they go... Yeah, they didn't go any medallions or anything. So when is Radiant going to probably look to eye up Roshan?
You got any... Actually, Q's going into the Aghanim Scepter. That is a little bit of a change with the Mirana, huh? We're seeing a lot more of that as opposed to the pure utility. I mean, previously I would see like a Solar Crest, for example, on the Mirana, which I think would potentially enable this Roche. They're just going to go straight for it, actually. Kind of surprising, but I guess they're feeling like they're in such a commanding position that they can afford to do it.
Yeah, I mean, Massa also
Maybe
having
just
plus 70 is a lot of damage at this
Yeah.
stage.
Plus no exorcism. It feels like they are
True,
still
true.
lacking a lot of damage on Yangon's side. Like they're purely defensive right now. KSH has a Lincoln's and a Ghost Scepter. That's nothing. You're tickling.
But they got the blink on the Tide Hunter, so looking to take a fight. But Age is already in their hands of the Medusa. Now they started on an illusion as well, so they've got the information. They're gonna be forced further back. I think we're just gonna have to see Dire haul themselves up on a high ground here and just play off the back of this close proximity fight where you can hope that Motivate make a mistake and run blindly into your multi-man Ravage.
Not sure if Tiebring is affected by it, but there was a recent-ish change to the Veil where... Hold that thought. They're moonlighting. They're getting ready for something. Ooh. Under the cover of the sentry, so nice placement there to make sure he's protects Boy Farms' single camp. So the Veil debuff doesn't amplify spell damage that is not affected by outgoing spell damage amplification. So that counts things like cleaves, splashes, and jumping attacks like Moonglaives and Blade Mail. It doesn't buff up Blade Mail either.
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is
I
under
get you now, I get you.
So something like Spirit Breaker, he still gets the benefit, right? Because we see so many Spirit Breakers go into the Null Talisman build just for that extra spell amp, but it wouldn't affect the comfort.
So is this where Gacha Boy's flaming for the itemizations? Like, come on, you're supposed to be amplifying me. Where's your Solar Crest? Screw the Deucers. Poor old Skille. Just Gacha Boy's things. Chasing down. We got a Jewel off to the side as well. Another support just giving away the life. Mastros 90 damage now. And anyway, they still got plenty of time on the Ages. 3 minutes, so might see them just look to push down mid and try and take another T2 tower.
You got to cut them some slack because obviously they're just getting run at by everyone. But it's again a situation where the supports are just dying at the start of any kind of prospective engagement, you know? Maybe now when they respawn is the time that they actually want to make a fight happen. You have to fight into this Aegis. It's an unfortunate situation, but it feels like they do. I mean, you've got the E-Blade up on your Morphling, you've got a Blink Dagger on the Tide Hunter, you've got all of your ultimates on the supports. You have to try and make something happen here. But they saw that smoke, I believe, so they're going to back off.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Put Toy in the front line. Boombui almost in a position as well if he can pop the smoke, but everyone else making sure they're not clumped up for the Ravage. There's a pretty solid angle to take the fight though. Right, I'm just going to look to start, man. What a Ravage. Onto 3. They'll turn to the Mirana. Now the Oak is getting brought relatively low as well, but Toy can stand his ground as the Stone Gaze is going to continue to push Yangon back. They're going to try and deal with Zorain to cut away the Exorcism. And with the use of the boat crashing down on the Death Prophet, they'll get rid of his life. And now they'll look over to KSH as well as Mastros is in once again. They've gotten rid of the Lincolns. The control needs to be on point afterwards as well, considering the waveform's back up and available. Gonna be able to dodge the X perfectly, but it doesn't matter. Toy with the Scud, he's slow. Makes the death inevitable. I believe that is a dieback on the Mirana. So, young PH trying to put some work in. Get them some opportunity. Or even the Ogre buys back as well. But in the end, I mean, 3 cores of Motivate still surviving.
Yeah, at least that was the way that they needed to try and take a team fight, though, right? They got off a decent amount of the Exorcism. The Mortimer's Kisses had a good effect. You were able to take out the supports twice, at least, on the enemy team. So that's a mild win, but you still didn't take out this Aegis, unfortunately. And Masteros is just way too big.
Toy, 50 seconds left. Ah, yes. Conquer things. Come back, resources. Give some bottled sips over to someone.
Why not?
Hey, full health, full mana.
I was kind of expecting in that last fight KSH to use his morph, because he didn't, and he was right next to the Legion Commander. I feel like if he uses the press the attack on himself, he probably lives in that situation. So, I mean, I know he said it was a big comfort hero for them, but it hasn't felt like it, to be completely honest. You know, whenever you're playing as a Morphling, particularly against a Medusa. I feel like you need to be getting a whole lot more aggressive than this build that's basically just, I don't want to die.
Yeah, we've seen that back-to-back games now with his itemization. Just really defensive. Maybe playing off the back of just Radiant, making the misstep.
Yeah.
Does he feel like he needs damage, though? Because they do have a lot of damage. Like, if you land Ravage, Mortimer Kisses, if Ember... he's going Lincolns as well, so... I do feel like Dire don't need the damage, but it's just... It's a rough stage when you're 12k behind.
Maybe it'll be okay once the supports hit level 12, but until that point, it feels like they're heavily lacking. Like, Tidehunter's damage isn't going to amp up more than it has already. It's basically just going to be his survivability. Ember Spirit, he's going to Lincoln, so his damage isn't going to increase either. So it's all going to be on the back of these supports. That's the only thing that I see changing for Yangon Galacticos so far. And, I mean, just have a look at MG.Trust, right? Every team fight that they win is another 20, soon to be 30 damage for Masaros. He's up to plus 90 now. He's got a BKB as well, so he's able to just get more. Run it.
Look at this. Setting up on top. And needs a couple more procs. And he'll get it. A bit unlucky, I think he used the Solar Crest on the Crete Wave, so didn't have the extra armor. Gotcha Boy is going to run to multiple Yangon heroes as well that were trying to set the bait for the Legion Commander, but I mean, now with that information, the rest of Motivate going to look to TP on in the area. They got a way to cancel off the escape from the Tidehunter. And they're going to split up their forces. 2 chasing down the position, 3, and then the rest trying to identify the issue with the Death Prophet as well. So Motivate, more and more kills being funneled into Radiant.
Very clever by Q as well, making sure to leap up onto the high ground where Yangon had the vision, but he was just that scout, basically, up on the top side there. He's nearly finished up his own Aghanim Scepters, so... That's always the issue that I tend to see with Miranas, is that they deal very little damage as a position 4, but Q's been on point so far.
Alright, they need to pop the Lincolns on young PH. They don't. So, just Remnants on out. Q is gone for Open a Prayer in that arrow from downtown. So this is, like you were saying before, multiple times we're seeing the Aghanim's Mirana. What do you feel like it's a different take on the hero? Is it just maybe like you can get a lot more farm towards that next item? They feel like they need burst through Jewel?
Honestly, hard to say. I mean, if you want burst through Jewel, I feel like, well, see you later, Snapfire Courier. Solar Crest is great, right? Because you've got 3 heroes, cores, that do physical damage. Solar Crest is going to be great for that. Maybe he just wants something that's going to be able to get through the Flame Guard? I honestly could not say. I feel like it's very greedy and it probably doesn't actually fit with the draft that they've got so far. But, you know, if it works for him. Clearly, it doesn't seem like it's going to matter all that much this game. Go for it. Masaros is just consistently on the hunt, going for these duels time after time.
How many more fights do you reckon they got in this? I reckon one more fight on Dire. And if they get wiped or even lose a couple, I don't know how long they'll stick in it.
Well, it kind of feels like they have to make something happen. I was going to say now, but Death Prophet isn't level 12. You got to get that. But every single time that Zorain goes outside of base, Masaros is hunting him down and getting another, now 30, dual damage. So, a little bit challenging. Yeah, I mean... They're on a bit of a timer as well, right? Because A, you're against a Medusa, and B, Roche is up in 10 seconds. And you know Motivate are going to be playing around that so that they can push up onto the high ground. So, for me, it's a race against time. Can Zorain hit level 12 quickly enough so that they can actually contest Roshan with a decent amount of damage? Doesn't look like it, because he's just hugging the rest of his team, so he's going to be splitting that experience 4 ways. And they're definitely going to go for Roche before the 30-minute mark on Motivate's side. Yeah, if he finds it.
If this game was relatively even in regards to net worth, like maybe a net worth lead, marginal lead from either side, would you say they wouldn't be as much of a timer? Because I feel like Dire have, in regards to just team fight, they scale a lot better. And I always give the edge to that in the style of Dota we're in at the moment.
I guess, but you also have to consider, like, how much extra damage does a Legion Commander have in your situation? Because
that's true.
He's got 140
that is very
extra
true.
right now.
Yeah, Masaros is... I mean, you were saying before he was just kind of hunting the Death Prophet whenever he got out of the map. I mean, he's got a Boots of Travel now on Masaros, so... He's just...
Radiant's
I mean, when
bottom
you're at
tower
this stage
is
of the
under
game, when you've got
attack.
so much dual damage already, you're like, okay, if anyone shows, I can just solo kill them. Like, I really don't need that +1.
And Kunka's even using the X marks onto him to make sure that he's able to keep these waves pushed out. I mean, Zorain, I like his positioning here, just constantly threatening this tower potentially. He hit up onto his level 12 as well, but you're going to have to get back and, well, you're contesting into a Medusa with Aegis. So, good luck. This is a bloodlusted Medusa with Aegis, by the way.
Poke and prod. Burn that mana. But you're even amplifying him with the Aghanim Shard on MG.Trust as well. They get rid of the Tide Hunter. Kraken Shell ain't gonna do naught. Burst the Jewel, so it's gonna be forced to buy back, and instantly this will allow Motivate just to reset. Wait for the next creep wave to come on over. There we go. Last fight. They're gonna smoke up as 4. So what happened previously? They looked to take the angle with a long wraparound, but Gacha Boy, I mean, on point with his positioning, recognizing this without a shadow of a doubt. He's in a position to be able to pop the smoke. And now with the Tide Hunter, I mean, he's really the angle back in, just hoping and praying for a multi-hero Ravage, but if they can cancel that blink, it just makes it so much more difficult.
Dire's top
You're being too
tower
nice
has
here. He is.
fallen.
Gacha Boy was farming that neutral camp, and you know.
Was he? I didn't see.
He
Okay.
was just trying to get that net worth up. Classic mid player.
When I looked over, he was on top of the stairs. I'm like, all right, my guy's smart as hell. Because I mean, we both read this, and Gacha Boy's smarter than us. That's how they took their last fight when it looked decent. So you just have to go again. You wrap around and it's not working. You brought up the Disruptor as well to enter the Tide Hunter. We haven't really spoken too much about the duel, probably because of Motivate being so far ahead. But you know, another thing, yeah, really good versus Tide. We were kind of saying like, you know, people maybe favor some other counters instead of the Disruptor, and you know, this last pick Legion's working perfectly for Motivate.
That's why I was valuing the Clockwork as well when I was mentioning it, because it's another one of those things, like you've got a Medusa on your side, you've got a Kunkka on your side, just lock him inside the cogs, right? Sure, you can force staff away, but you just get an Aghanim Scepter and then you can lock him inside a second set of cogs. You know, it feels pretty damn effective as well, but I like the Legion Commander even better.
Alright, Snap's got Aghanims.
Alright.
Alright.
Who's he throwing to his death?
Dire's
Pipe.
middle tower is
It's just a
under
dieback.
He's already got Blink, though.
Dire's middle
Yeah, but it
tower
feels like...
has fallen.
Well, looks like he's going to try.
Alright, there we go. Chuck in. And
you
they
later.
all split away. BKB from both cores. It's a massive turn. Gets a freebie. That's a dieback on the Tide. They'll blow up the Death Prophet as well. And guess what? Toy is inside the base. It doesn't even matter. They can't even push past the Medusa to offer any
Medusa
assistance to
v
the
Medusa
Ember.
battle.
Oh, no. They get rid of the Ember Spirit. It looks like... What is going on?
Is it Mablusa? Is that going to win?
Oh, they get Case H. But he actually timed it.
Oh, the arrow?
Alright, well, that's even better arrow. Jules still on Quinn for another 15. I mean, no one's got buyback, and yeah, you're at a stage where it is GG territory. MG.Trust is going to end the game perfectly with 200 damage. I'm imagining. He's still got Jewel up in a couple seconds. Maybe
Dire's
doesn't make it
middle
look so
tower is under
perfect.
attack.
You're crazy if you think they're not diving that fountain.
Come on. All kills. Buff the stats. Alright, there we go. Well, it does have the mana shield, so maybe they're actually not going to get it. And they won't. Alright, well, they get the kill. The G's are dropped. Still finishing the game on 200 damage. And Motivate, Savage, Toy, doesn't matter. A convincing series victory over Yangon. They're going to move on forward into...
Alright guys, I'll be right back later guys. Need to rest. Next match, what's the next match? What? Win Strike V Gaming. I will play this game. This match. Oh, it's over. But guys, I'll be right back later.